You're listening to the Pittsburgh Piledriver.
What the hell is that?
Podcast.
Oh, dearie me. After that last debacle, we need to talk about something that is bright, sunny, and happy in the world of wrestling, because that last episode was just the absolute worst, and I hated it. So let's do something fun and talk Happy Town Wrestle Time. Beef the Legend is here. He is our Cruiserweight champion. Whether he decides to burn that belt as an effigy to the wrestling gods, I mean, whether or not he does that, he's still the Cruiserweight champ. He doesn't need a belt, to be called the Cruiserweight champ, and I will call him the Cruiserweight champion, even if he renounces it. I don't care about his feelings. He's the Cruiserweight champion. Don't matter. Suck it easy. That's right. All you dummies, acknowledge the Cruiserweight champ, because I do. Poot the Bard is also here. He'll be chiming in whenever he deems it necessary, because he's the Bard. He's the man with the silver tongue, and he will chime in when he damn well pleases. And I'm Ransom the Madman. I'm sure you're all familiar with my lunacy and big dumb voice by now. So, hi. Welcome, everybody, to the Pittsburgh Piledriverpodcast, and we're going to do good time, happy, fun wrestle talks. Beef, go.
Hi, Ransom.
Hi.
So, yeah, we're done with the unpleasantness. We're happy. I mean, okay. Let's reset. All right, let's reset, rebuild, reclaim.
Yes.
I'm still excited. I'm still excited.
What's Rumble season?
It is Rumble season, and like even in the dark days of the McMahon era, you know, the build up to Rumble and WrestleMania was always fun. I think it was fun. You know, for several reasons. I think it's really fun to, you know, pontificate with you guys and talk about potential scenarios that could happen, get our hopes up and eventually be let down. Like, that's all part of it, you know. That's just kind of like standard fare. So even with that, you know, with all that being said, yeah, man, it's still a good time, you know. Mercedes debuted for NJPW on the Wrestle Kingdom and took out Kairi Sane. So that's a great match, you know, in the coming weeks, months. So yeah, man, there's still lots and lots of good things happening. And,
John Cena's losing his hair. That's a good thing.
Oh man, poor John Cena gets roasted about that. I felt so terrible. Because you know,
dude,
he I don't think deserved it. Because, like, you know, how often do we give Charlotte shit about all the fucking changes she makes?
All the time. Every chance I can get.
And here's this guy who's like, fuck it. Like, I understand that I have a bald spot, but you know what? I'm not a vain asshole. I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna wear it like a badge of honor. And he's
Beef is fucking sitting here and he's going, oh, I'm a friend of the bald guys. Beef, how long did you fucking give me shit for my high widow's peak and my fucking yarmulke that I had growing on my head? Oh my God, infinitely fucking years. I don't want to hear you sitting here bleeding heart motherfucker. Fuck you. You should be making fun of John Cena just as hard as you made fun of me, you piece of shit.
To be fair, Poot, I never made fun of your widow's peak. I made fun of Bob's widow's peak.
Okay, that's
fair. You never had a widow's peak to speak of. You had a Hulk Hogan skullet.
That is true. But again, you're not defending yourself, you human motherfucker.
I didn't say that I'm perfect, man. I absolutely have made mistakes. I am trying to, and I mean, okay, John Cena's going bald. He's a fucking.
I didn't that guy could fucking crush me just by looking at me.
he's also, very successful. So my point remains is that like he's trying to keep it all natural, and he's trying to be like, you know what, fuck it, I don't care what people think of me. Let's just go. I appreciate that in today's wrestling, where everything is so subjective and like everything's under the microscope now. I appreciate John Cena just going, you know what? This is the me that they're gonna get because this is the real me.
Yeah, so look, I'm not saying he should have gotten plugs or something, but like back in the day, John Cena had a pretty high and tight going on. Like he had the sides and back of his head shaved, and the top was real high and tight. He could have gone back to the Marine John Cena short hairstyle, and zero people would have been the wiser about the balding spot on the back of his head. Like, he didn't do that, though. He let this thing grow out like he's some sort of Shagosaurus, and is like, look at all my lovely flowing locks. Uh-oh, something's going on back here. Come on, man. He rocked the high and tight for years. He could have done that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. And he probably should have. But he didn't. And that's okay, because again, like this is like a different John Cena. Maybe he's just embracing the full change to Ernest P. Worrell. Know what I mean, Vern? So like I don't know, man.
John Cena wrestled on a random ass SmackDown.
Well, and the big thing here is that he had wrestled at least one show a year, at least one match a year for 20 years. And like that SmackDown was the last, his last bastion to keep that streak going. Now, I don't know if that was an oversight. I mean, John Cena's a busy dude. He's got a lot of shit on his plate. So like maybe this was always the plan from the beginning. But I appreciate him coming. And I mean, you know what? It was also Roman Reigns' first match on SmackDown since he beat Matt Riddle like 6 months ago.
Really?
Mm-hmm, despite being ever present on the brand, he doesn't wrestle much, and that's akin to what MJF is saying.
Who's that? Do you talk Matt Riddle?
No, Roman Reigns.
Oh, Roman Reigns. Yeah, well, no, he doesn't.
And that's akin to what MJF is saying. Like, I want to make this belt bigger, meaning that it's not going to be on TV as often. Meaning I'm not going to be defending it. Meaning you're not going to see me in matches, because I want it to feel important. And by God, if that approach hasn't worked for Roman Reigns, like he has absolutely made the titles feel important. And he's not catching shit like Brock Lesnar did when Lesnar would go 6 months without defending the title.
Yeah, well, it wasn't about not. Yeah, but see, the thing is, it's all about the air. Like Roman Reigns is not walking around. It's not about cockiness. Like that was the thing with Brock Lesnar. It was all cockiness, and it was brash, and you're sitting here going, what the fuck are you talking about, Poot? Well, it was with the help of Paul Heyman. It was a lot of brash. It was a lot of showmanship. Anyone else remember the Brock party? One of the best things I've ever seen in my fucking life. But with Roman Reigns, it feels like fucking to kind of go with this run. It feels like Shao Kahn sitting in the background of all the other fights, sitting there going, I'm better than you. I'd win this fight in 2 seconds. Prove to me that you fucking belong here. It's that.
Well, I think too,
that's
that
why
Roman Reigns
works.
shows up weekly.
What was that?
Like Roman Reigns is always there. Like he appears on Smack. Like,
but again,
I think the problem I had with Brock was that like you would go months without even seeing him.
Yeah,
right. Where Roman, he's there, he's on TV, but he's just not wrestling unless it's a big time match. Unless it's a pay-per-view, he's not wrestling. He's not defending that belt on a random SmackDown.
He's that
there.
vibe.
He's present. Yeah, and
it's Shao Kahn in Mortal Kombat 2 sitting in the background.
Yeah, and I like that. I like the whole like I'm here, I'm here, but this is a SmackDown. Do you think I'm going to defend this belt here? No. Like you'll see me and I'll jaw at you, but that's all you're going to get out of me. I like that. I think that has a good aura of the kind of champion that Roman Reigns is perceived to be. Like that helps that goes right along with the character that he is. I'm the head of the table. I have this whole bloodline that can come out here and wrestle. You think I'm gonna? No, they will. I'm not gonna. I like that.
I agree. I think that he's doing exactly what he needs to be doing to make the main event feel important again. Now, again, I do think that at some point they do need to get one of those belts off of him sooner, preferably than later. But yes, I think that he's bringing a lot of greatness to the main event currently. But yeah, man, and to be fair, that random ass SmackDown where John Cena and Roman Reigns both wrestled drew a big fat rating that they haven't done in 2 years.
I bet it did.
So, that I think is why you always, with the exception of the Royal Rumble, I think that's why it's always better business to announce things. Secrets can be fun, for sure.
Yep.
But I think if you get eyes on the product by saying, now, that door swings both ways, in that you can't be Tony Khan, where every week you have a big announcement that's going to shake the wrestling world, or every week there's going to be a big fucking debut, which is how it was for about 6 months there with AEW. God love him, but Tony Khan needs to settle down a little bit.
Yeah.
Put away the cocaine, Tony. It's fine.
Oh. Oh dear.
But and that's the benefit of booking this stuff. He Cena appeared 2 weeks ago. It gave him a full 2 weeks to kind of pimp that match. And I mean, on the other side, the other side of the coin, the mid card is as strong as has ever been, or at least it's been in like at least a decade. With Gunther holding the IC title, I think for 240 days or so. Theory just had a really good match on Raw with Seth Rollins, where he defended the belt in the main event. The mid card's looking up for sure. So
which that's something that WWE hasn't, and there are arguments for this statement not being completely true, but that's something WWE hasn't had in a long time. Really, honestly, if we're going to be really honest about ourselves, and I know that this sounds like, at this point in wrestling culture, it's almost a boomer statement, and I fucking hate that, but really, think back to the mid-late 90s and then into the Attitude Era. The mid-card was always a banger. Always.
Sure.
Like a lot of those guys that were just wrestling either random matches or fighting for the European hardcore or intercontinental belts felt like fucking rock stars. They still did. So having a strong mid-card is awesome. That's great. We haven't had that in a long time.
Oh, absolutely. The feud that The Rock and Stone Cold had for the Intercontinental title was amazing.
Oh my God, yeah.
The feud that Triple H and The Rock had for the Intercontinental title after Stone Cold moved up onto the main event was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like those were some of the best mid-card feuds, that happened in that era.
Nope, I 100% agree. And like I said, it's good to have the mid card back where it belongs. I do want to talk about something because I just mentioned about booking things in advance and throwing out surprises and everything. So for the last couple of weeks to a month, Saraya has been talking about having a surprise, a mystery partner on the next week's edition of Dynamite. And the leading theory was it was going to be Mercedes.
Whoops.
And then last night it was she did a sit down with Renee and had Cheetah and Tori, Tony Storm with her, and basically like was talking about which one of them that she should choose, and she said, "Oh, I'm choosing Tony Storm." Hikaru, she looked all pissed off and bitter about it. And I got to thinking, I'm like, man, that's kind of dumb to have all this build up and then have it fizzle out a week before. My question is, do you feel it? Do you actually think that next week? Do you think that next week on Dynamite, this big mystery partner build-up, do you think her partner is actually going to be Tony Storm? Or do you think that we get a bait and switch with either Shida attacking her or, the DMDers attacking Tony Storm and Shida, and it does end up being Mercedes? Like, what do you guys feel? Or do you think, like, Tony Khan put literally all of his eggs in the Mercedes basket, and she was like, nah, brah. And now he's stuck without a surprise.
Poot? Ransom?
Poot! Ransom?
I don't know. I don't know what to think. It would be, in my opinion, better if it was a bait and switch, because the build-up seemed like it was going to be a big deal, and then to have her in this interview go, "I choose you, Pikachu." Like, why though? The only thing I can think of is, like Beef said, Tony was banking on Mercedes showing up, and then she didn't. Like, that deal fell through. So if that deal wasn't solidified in the first place, I don't know why he would be hedging bets on that if it wasn't solidified. Like, that seems...
He's a riverboat gambler, man.
He is.
Yeah,
I mean,
same thing with Adam Cole, man. Same thing with Adam Cole. You don't think that they had that shit planned for months in advance?
No, but yeah,
but they did.
And like, he had no confirmation, no official confirmation, So I mean, yeah, that's a different situation. I like that about Tony. I like that he gambles with it, and it doesn't always pay off. Sometimes it absolutely craps, and like, that's it happens. But honestly, like, fuck it, man. Why not chuck it up and see what happens? What do you think, Poot, about this whole situation?
To be perfectly honest with you, and I'm not just trying to get a rise out of Beef, I could fucking care less what she does. I don't care at this point. I don't. I could give a fuck. Like, I don't care. Like,
I mean, so remove Mercedes. Remove Mercedes from the equation. I want to know what you think about the situation with Saraya naming a mystery, partner.
I feel
a month ago, and then letting the air out of the tire a week before it happens.
Well, I feel like the air out of the tire. I feel like it was something that, like, maybe Tony Khan was using as a poker chip. Like, he was kind of throwing it in there and going, "See, we're already building you up," like, and the thing is, if he would have pulled the plug on it sooner, I don't think we'd be talking about it. I really don't. I feel like we'd be going, "Oh, maybe it was going to be Abaddon or some fucking shit," like, whatever.
Or Thunder Rosa,
like,
right?
Or Thunder
right.
Rosa or whatever. Like, we'd be doing that, but because he did the wait for it. Oh, fuck, shit, fuck. Like, he did that kind of thing. Like, I think that's the reason why we're sitting here and going, like, "Okay, Tony, we saw what you were doing." It's slowly revealing the plan. I think it's one of those things that just didn't work. It just didn't go. I'm not going to, like, I mean, it was kind of a dumb move, honestly, IMHO. But you know what? Like Beef said, and again, this is maybe trying to appease him after I insulted, his bae. But like, it's one of those things. Tony is a little bit of, like Beef said, what'd you say, a riverboat gambler? He's a little bit of a riverboat gambler. He's someone who, like, not only was maybe in discussions, but then also in front of the general public showing, no, this is how committed we are to this whole thing. The problem is that strategy would have worked a year and 4 months ago. That would have worked. Whenever AEW had more good graces and more benefit of the doubt. Because AEW has had a lot of fucking trouble. Let's not split hairs here. I like AEW. I'm excited to see where they go. I'm still excited to see how they keep on growing and changing. But let's not split hairs here, guys. AEW has had a lot of fucking trouble. And a lot of fucking controversy and a lot of fucking bad press lately. Like, so...
Are you becoming a WWE stan? Is that what I'm hearing?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that this strategy would have worked a while ago and it would have been more, I think, accepted and less criticized then. You know what I mean? If this would have happened back then, I really don't. I think that'd have been like, we see what you were doing, Tony, and you know what? It didn't work out, but that's okay, bucko. Let's keep going. Now it's going, oh, Tony,
bucko.
Like, we see what you were doing, and it didn't work, and now what? Cool, we have Tony Storm, which, in my opinion, I'd rather have Tony Storm. So for me, it's a win.
I know you would.
It's a fucking win, and it's not for anything lecherous. I like Tony Storm. I think Tony Storm is great.
She's a great wrestler.
She's an incredible wrestler.
She's top 5.
And that's
she's top 5 in the world right now.
And that's the thing. I am sorry. I think Mercedes' terrible name is not like I have watched the matches with whenever she was Sasha Banks. She has put on barn burners. She is a wonderful talent. Incredible talent. I just don't understand this mythicality that's being put around her. I don't. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I don't. I think she is someone for the ages. I think she is an absolute already Hall of Famer, bar none. But I do not understand this fucking mythicality put around this woman. I don't get it. I do not understand.
No. You don't get to talk out of both sides of your mouth.
Yes, I fucking do.
You don't get to say, I understand that she's a Hall of Famer right now. I understand that she puts on great matches.
We can fucking say the same thing about a Dolph Ziggler beef. You can. Hate me for fucking throwing that out. You agree. So there you go.
But here's the thing,
Ransom,
man.
stop wrestling your microphone.
You can't say I don't understand what it is about her.
Do you want to hear me pee, or should I just mute myself?
I want to hear you pee.
No, we don't need to hear that.
All right, here it comes.
You cannot say, she's the first ballot Hall of Famer, and she's
I didn't say first ballot. Don't you put fucking words in my mouth. I'm talking out of both sides of. Don't you fucking do it. I didn't say first ballot. I said she is a Hall of Famer.
You don't understand why there's mythicality, and yet you're telling all the damn reasons.
No, but see, the thing is, it's all these other women that she was with. You are, like, everyone, not just you, puts this fucking woman, up on this wrestler. I'll even take that away. This wrestler, they put her up on this extra special crystal diamond encrusted pedestal for what fucking reason? Bailey's as good as her.
Absolutely.
Go
on. You're gonna tell me the woman you can't remember her name.
No, shut the fuck up, Beef! God fucking damn it! Let me talk. Fuck!
I'm just enjoying.
You're riling me up and not letting me talk. Don't do this. Don't make me Ross Perot you. Can I fucking finish? Jesus fucking Christ. I will swear up and down and talk over you for the rest of the 40 fucking minutes we have in this podcast. Shut the fuck up for 2 seconds. I deal with this all day. You're getting my vitriol right now. Also, by the way, I want to let all the P3 podcast people out there know that Beef is quite literally my best friend in the entire world. He is going to be my best man at my wedding. Like, that's just how it is. I love him to death. I would do anything for him. But shut the fuck up.
Also, I
Okay.
don't like you lumping me in with everybody else, putting this woman on a pedestal. I have not done that from day one. I have not done that.
Oh,
How
What's
dare
your fucking
you, sir?
point, Poot? What's your fucking point?
my point. I can't. Now I'm laughing. Okay.
Rude.
My point is with this is that there are like basically the four horsewomen. Like you look at Bailey, you look at the man, and I'll even fucking say it, you look at Charlotte fucking Flair.
I'm gonna pass out.
They are just as good as her, and there is no fucking reason to put this woman up on this bigger pedestal that's diamond encrusted and think she is the second coming of Jesus. Like, there's just no reason. I'm sorry.
The same can be said about Seth Rollins, about FTR, about Adam Cole, baby. Like,
That is
all
not
of these
true.
talents- Absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. All of these talents absolutely are amazing wrestlers. Absolutely are Hall of Famers.
My fucking
but
voice hurts
absolutely-
now.
Hold
God
on.
damn.
Hold on.
Oh.
Now it's your turn. But absolutely have these cult followings that put them on pedestals. I think Adam Cole, FTR, Mercedes. I think that they are all. It's Seth Rollins. I think that they are all accurately aggrandized by the marks. I absolutely think that they are put on pedestals for good reason, because right now they are the best in the game. Like, you can, like, they have had clunkers. Absolutely, they've had clunkers. That's part of the fucking game, man. But at the end of the day, charisma, talent, eyes on the product, that's what they're bringing. And I include all of the named above. I'll go you one better.
Oh no.
Bray Wyatt.
Okay.
Everybody's like, "Oh my God, Bray Wyatt's so great." Fucking 6 months later, he's still walking around talking to people in masks.
Slow burn, buddy.
Like,
slow burn.
That's great, except for I fell asleep 3 weeks ago. Wake me up when he does something.
Well,
Yeah,
see, that's
time to light that match. That slow burn is
well,
too
they
slow.
they started doing that, and that's a topic I figured we were going to talk about this episode, where we were going to talk about Ned Flanders showing up because Uncle Howdy Ho. You know,
my point is that I understand, and I, it's true. I do, because I probably get it from you and Ransom a lot. I understand the other side of the coin. Why you don't see that she is, so great. Some of it's booking, I'll be honest. Because WWE booked her into so many fucking holes. Charlotte Flair never put her over on pay-per-view. Only put her over on fucking the week. Only put her over the week.
That is true. I will give you that. That's true.
She has had injury. She has had injuries issues. That is accurate. But what I think is being missed is that I think that she is, pound for pound, the best women's wrestler in the world, and probably a top 20 wrestler, period.
Wow, man. Like, wow. You're making bold fucking statements.
And absolutely, she has matches where she can be sloppy. That, I don't want to say kind of the style, but like, when you see cruisers, junior heavyweights, whatever you want to call them, mess up and have botches and stuff, you accept it because it's kind of part of the style. When they're going so quick and everything is being fucking, so lightning fast, things are always going to match up. And whenever she, I think, wrestles a similar style because she's kind of like a female luchador in a lot of ways. She patterned herself after Eddie Guerrero, with a little bit of Bret Hart sprinkled. so I get it. I understand both sides of the coin, but absolutely, I am, touting the Mercedes trumpet. I'm absolutely putting the Mercedes flag up. And if you think for a minute that I didn't see that T-shirt on Pro Wrestling Tees with the Sailor Mercedes on there, and I was like, oh, I think I need that. It's in my cart right now. I'm just waiting for the funds. So
Yeah.
my point is,
That's a shame.
shut up, you.
Oh,
Dude,
Getting back to the original fucking topic, we're in fucking Idaho here, man. You drove me out to the middle of nowhere, dropped me off. Guys, see you later.
That's not what I did. I'm standing fucking ground, man. I can't, like, I'm not saying she's bad. I like her. I'm just saying she's not a shiny, man. She's not.
She
Like,
absolutely is.
no, she's not. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand. Like, it's not that she doesn't deserve lauded. Hell, again, before I screamed my fucking voice off, I said Hall of Famer, bar none. But the problem is you can say that about a lot of women's wrestlers nowadays because, and I think we can all agree on this, that that all the women's wrestlers now... I'm ignoring you. All the women's wrestlers now that are in the spotlight are the ones that are going to be looked at for generations as the standard bearers. All of them.
Absolutely.
All of them.
Absolutely.
Especially Charlotte Flair. Go on.
Oh.
I'm fucking with you. I'm fucking with you. I'm fucking with you. I'm fucking with you on that one. I'm fucking with you on that one.
Oh,
I'm not serious. I'm not serious.
I know.
Before you say anything, you know I'm not serious.
You're fine. I think that this is a big bait and switch. I think that Tony Khan leaked to Meltzer that like Sasha's not coming to AEW, and that's why Meltzer put that out there. So that whenever she shows up next week, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh my God, what a surprise!"
Everyone will be like, "Oh no."
You think Mercedes is going to show up at AEW?
I do.
Ooh.
There was a moment where I think that she considered otherwise, but I mean, I think that they're going to pay her a lot of money, and I think that she's all about the money, and that's great. Again, if you got it, flaunt it, man. Get that money while you can. I don't care if you're Sasha taking tons of money from New Japan and all the fucking weebs over there. Actually, I don't know that there would be weebs, just as I don't know. Anyway, like that's like what do you call Chinese food when you're eating in China?
Beef.
Well, no cat.
My point is that I think
don't bring those up around me. He'll start blaming me for that.
Ransom punching him, coming to the door, kicking the cat, and then cooking him.
Damn it.
Idaho, man.
Kelly's better than Sasha Banks.
Kurt Angle certainly thought so. Anyway, yes. I think that Mercedes does show up on AEW next week. I think that this is just a big bait and switch to like, a red herring, if you will. Even if she doesn't show up for the match, I think that she might be involved some way. I think it'd be dumb to have her not be the tag team partner with Saraya, especially since her and Saraya have the history there. But like, again, Tony, and here's the other side of the coin though. Tony has like never like jumped out of a surprise early. Like a lot of these people who came to AEW are like the worst kept secrets. And he was like, that's fine. I don't care that it's still happening. You're going to be excited. I'm excited. Be excited. So, like, it's kind of weird he would, like, do that. And honestly, if the Mercedes thing doesn't go down, which is, obviously a possibility, he may just be trying to, like, set expectations. Maybe he doesn't want everybody tuning in next Wednesday night expecting Mercedes, and then whenever Mercedes isn't coming out, like everybody be like, "Oh, what the fuck was this? What kind of bait and switch is this bullshit?" Maybe he's just trying to get out in front of it and go, "Hey, I told you guys. This is what I told you guys last week. Because I didn't want this fucking hate." But yeah, honestly think that she was the plan the whole time. And I'm interested to see now whether she does come out next week or not, because if she doesn't, I think that absolutely Tony Khan was just, playing a soft 16, and sometimes the dealer wins on a 16, man.
I mean, I still think he's going to catch heat. Like if it's Tony Storm, and even if they said it's going to be Tony Storm, and it winds up being Tony Storm, I think there's still going to be heat. I mean, it was no different than the Royal Rumble year where everybody expected Daniel Bryan to come out as number 31 when everybody knew.
Poor Rey Mysterio, man.
Yeah, like Rey Mysterio, like everybody knew who number 30 was going to be, and we just kept thinking, oh, there's going to be 31. Oh, there's going to be a 31, and there wasn't. And there was massive heat for it. Like,
Sure.
there's still going to be heat.
I don't think it's gonna be that level. Like not even close.
No, it won't be that level, but there'll still be something. So be like, oh well, I thought it was gonna be like, well, we told you. Well, it doesn't matter. I still expected something else.
Which leads me to the next topic of discussion, the Royal Rumble.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, it's coming up here. It's time to start getting our expectations far too high.
Yes.
So.
Speaking of expectations, let me set this for you now.
Go ahead.
I want those of you who are going to be in attendance in Mordor for the Royal Rumble to understand this statement that I'm about to say as 100% accurate and truth.
Doctrine, even.
Yeah, this is doctrine. Thank you, Poot. Yes. If that countdown for number 30 happens and that buzzer goes off and that stupid The Rock music hits, you will politely but firmly be asked to leave. Everybody leaves.
See, now I'm glad.
My TV is off and I'm going to bed.
Now I'm glad that I have a gig.
It's over. I don't even care if he doesn't wind up winning. If that goes off and he's number 30 in the Royal Rumble, get out. Because I'm done. I'm done. The Rumble is canceled. It's over. I'd rather Vince McMahon come out as number 30. Don't do it.
I think that absolutely could happen.
I'm gonna punch you.
Well, hear me out. I think that they need. I don't think it's gonna win. I don't think it's gonna win, but I think that they absolutely need to kind of put some kindling on the fire of The Rock versus Reigns if it's gonna happen this year.
If he wins the Royal Rumble and I watch it happen, I'll tear my TV off the wall.
I'm like so excited. I'm so excited.
I will rip it out of the wall. Don't do this to me. I'm bummed for all those who are listening when he says those in attendance in Mordor. I unfortunately am not going to be able to be there for the Rumble because WWE insists on having on pay-per-views on Saturdays now. But I'm going to be there for a lot of times. But I'll tell you this. I don't think we're going to hear... it's not that I don't think we're going to hear The Rock's music. I think it's very possible that's going to happen. But you know what else I think we're going to hear? I think we're going to hear some glorious fucking Living Color. It had to be brought up. The idea, so many people are already memeing the fuck out of it. That CM Punk is going to show up in the Rumble. And if it fucking happens... If it happened, I would die. I'd be dead. I would be at my gig and I would die. I would scream, "It's clobbering time," and then I would die.
If there was a chance of that happening now, it's a 0%. By the way, I'm trying to keep up on Reddit here. Apparently, Vince McMahon made a press release about what he's going to do with WWE, but Vince McMahon made his own press release. This was not a press release from WWE.
Oh, what did he fucking say?
He just talked about what his plans were and everything, but this was not a WWE press release. This was something that Vince McMahon and Vince's lawyers and stuff paid for. The saga continues to unfold live before your ears. If CM Punk was coming back, especially now with Vince allegedly coming back, that is off the table. Punk will not come back for Vince. Vince will probably want Punk to come back, but Punk will absolutely not come back for Vince. No chance in hell, no pun intended. I see a world where The Rock does come back. I don't think he wins. I think that somehow, some way, Reigns ends up like fucking things up for him, or the bloodline, or basically give him cause to be thrown out, right? And I think that like kickstarts the Roman feud, and then we get the real winner of the Rumble, which I think is probably going to be Cody Rhodes.
If you just said Drew McIntyre, I would have stroked out.
Drew McIntyre's got an outside chance. And it can end up being a three-way between Rhodes and McIntyre and potentially Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. I'd sign up for that. I'd be in for that as long as the right man won. I'd be in for that. But I just think that everything that they've done with Cody has been pointing to this one time, this one scenario where he wins the Rumble and gets his shot at WrestleMania and wins the title at WrestleMania. Does it make it less impactful that it may not be Roman Reigns? A little bit. But like whatever, like it's a means to an end.
Let's talk about the real hot button topic here for a surprise entrance. The Hurricane. So, no laughs. Wow. I feel like I walked into a room and I said, "What's up?" and everybody just looked at me and went, "Really?"
Well, I think the only reason is because it's not
unfeasible.
No, it's not that far-fetched at all.
Yeah, because he shows up every year, it seems like.
Every other year. What about Kofi Kingston fucking it up? Are we going to see Kofi Kingston fuck it up?
We'll see a ridiculous non-elimination save by friggin' Kofi Kingston that's been done to death.
He botched last year, I think, right?
I think it was
last year or the year before.
No, it wasn't during. I think it was 2020. No, it wasn't 2020. Was it?
I think it was last year that he fucked up and like literally eliminated himself, and we're like, well,
it was one of those things because the cameras were in the wrong spot at that point. Yeah, Kofi fucked up, but the cameras caught it, and WWE's like, well, we gotta follow our own rules, I guess.
Look, when he started walking on pancakes to get back into the Rumble, I was over it. Like,
yeah,
no, man, your feet are on the floor.
I had the
knee-jerk. You can walk on pancakes all you want to. Stop it.
I had the knee-jerk reaction whenever he did that. I go, that's funny because it's their gimmick, and I'm like, that's fucking funny. Let's let him do it. But giving it time to settle, I'm like, yeah, okay.
I know we've talked about it before, and I know. I can already hear what Beef's gonna say. Like, it's wrestling, you have to suspend reality, yada yada yada. Like, I know, Beef.
I'm reading this press release, and it's just
so. Read it. Dramatic reading. Go, Beef.
At least touch on the spots that are making you laugh.
And this is a direct quote from Vince McMahon. In this Vince McMahon directed, not WWE press release, but a Vincent Kennedy McMahon press release, WWE is entering a critical juncture in its history with the upcoming media rights negotiations coinciding with increased industry-wide demand for quality content and live events, with more companies seeking to own the intellectual property on their platforms, said Mr. McMahon. The only way for WWE to fully capitalize on this opportunity is for me to return as the executive chairman and support the management team in the negotiations for our media rights, and to combine that with the review of strategic alternatives. My return will allow WWE, as well as any transaction counterparties, to engage in these processes, knowing they will have the support of the controlling shareholder.
Yep, it's not about money, it's about ego.
That's fucking delusional. That is some delusional fucking talk, man. Wow.
That is an 80-year-old with Alzheimer's, is what that is. Like that. That's funny.
Son of
I'm
a
sorry.
bitch,
I derailed the whole conversation because I was just kind of reading the snippets and I saw that and I was like, holy fuck. Anyway.
That's unreal. That's unreal. Like that's one of those things where you go, wow. Wow.
So all right, so let's do just a real quick round. Who do you want to be the big surprise in this year's Rumble, and who do you think the big surprise is going to be? Ransom.
Pass.
Poot.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. I know it seems like Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis is who I want.
All
I
right.
would love to see Nick Aldis fucking show up. That'd be amazing. I would love it. Shove that beefcake through the fucking curtains and have him go out there and lay waste. I'm here for it. I think the quote unquote surprise belch entrance is more than likely, and I say quote unquote, it's a tie for me saying between The Rock and Cody Rhodes. Because I know Cody's on the roster, but it's like, yeah, you know, I as far as surprise entrance, I mean, the one that makes sense to me is Nick Aldis. Like, Nick Aldis would be great. Who's
He's
the
a
other
free
guy
agent.
that was from Impact that left?
Eric Young.
Not Eric Young. There was another guy. He always wears like college, like Greco-Roman wrestling ear covers.
Oh, Josh Alexander.
Yes. Like,
Okay.
I could see
absolutely
that
fucking
being
see that.
one of them, but I don't think that would have the impact. I think Nick Aldis would be a big fucking deal. I think that would be a big fucking deal. It wouldn't be AJ Styles of level of surprise, but like, I think that would be great.
It'd be a feel-good moment for sure.
In a dream moment, I really think it would be CM Punk. And not dream in like a good dream, more like a fever dream.
Yeah, right.
So,
Yeah, Ransom.
No,
I was just gonna pick it back off something Poot said, but go ahead.
I think Cody Rhodes is a foregone conclusion. I mean, with him being ready to come back and supposedly was going to come back at the New Year's Eve event, like I don't think he's going to be a surprise. I think it's going to be. I'd be surprised if Cody Rhodes didn't come back in the Rumble. The surprise entrant that I expect or that I think is going to come back is unfortunately Stupid The Rock. The surprise entrant that I would want to see would be the man who I can see bridge the forbidden door between AEW and WWE, being Chris Jericho. I'd lose my mind if Chris
Ooh.
Jericho came back for one night at the Royal Rumble, more than CM Punk. I'd give two shits less whether CM Punk comes back.
That's a good call, Ransom.
But I'm telling you, like, that I would be out of my seat if that countdown came on, those fireworks hit, and whether or not he comes out to Judas or break the walls down, that doesn't matter to me. He comes out, I lose my mind. That's who I would want to see come out.
I subscribe to Poot's fever dream. Like I'm here for a CM Punk.
No
moment.
surprise there.
Even if it's like, you know, because I think that would honestly be like an olive branch between AEW and WWE, and would be the start of something fantastic.
CM Punk would be the olive branch?
Because he's under contract with AEW.
I know what he is.
Even if he gets out of the contract, there's no way any kind of like no compete clause is going to let him show up there. So
Tony Khan, for all the questionable decisions that we have brought up about things that he's done, and like, you know, gambler's gambler or whatever. I think of Tony Khan as a strategic and smart businessman.
absolutely.
He doesn't let CM Punk, he doesn't buy out CM Punk's contract until after WrestleMania. Because I think he knows what a big deal the Rumble is. And, you know, he's in the wrestling business. He knows what a big deal WrestleMania is. So if he's even planning on cutting Punk loose, there's no way he does that until at least a month after WrestleMania.
I think you're right.
He's not going to let Punk come back at the Rumble. Aside from like the bridging of the gap, the forbidden door, if he's going to cut him loose, he's not going to cut him loose to where he can come back at the Royal Rumble or come back at Mania or come back even at the Raw after Mania. He's going to hold him out for, you know, a good enough time to where like the wind is out of the WWE WrestleMania season sales.
It's fair.
Agreed.
So I think who I want the surprise to be, or the surprise entrant, and who I think it's going to be is the same person, Jay White. Especially so a couple things here. He challenged Hikuleo to a loser leaves Japan match here at New Year's Dash, which is their traditional night after Wrestle Kingdom event. And I don't know when exactly that's happening, but like, yeah, that absolutely could be like the end of Jay White's thing. But let's not forget that WWE did New Japan a solid in letting Machine Gun Carl Anderson compete over there at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yep.
So
they also have had a lot of stuff with Noah. What with Shinsuke Nakamura?
Correct. So they have, I think, one in their pocket, and I think that they call in. I think Triple H is a smart dude, and he knows that Jay White would be, I think, the big. I mean, you want Okada. Everybody wants Okada. I don't want Okada. I fucking hate Okada.
Nah.
That's a story for a different name.
Goodness.
Ciabatta.
Ciabatta.
I think that Jay White would be the biggest impact, and honestly, I could see it happening. So yeah, I mean, like Ransom said, I think Cody's a foregone conclusion. Like if he's still not announced by like the week that we record, and we're asking for like surprise entrances, absolutely, Cody Rhodes is going to be on my fucking board. But like Jay White, I think is a guy who I want to see it happen, and is absolutely feasible. That being said, let's not get lost in Rumble talk here because we do have a few weeks. Let's get lost instead in a Stomp the Chumps. We stay, boys.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit, son.
What?
Oh, that too.
Okay. So we'll we have to. I think we're gonna hold off on Pat's for a minute. We'll do Ernest's this week, aka Ryuk. His is. Hey boys, I'm back with another question for you. Who are the top 5 wrestlers with the most wins in WWE? That's an interesting one.
Wow, most wins.
Mm-hmm.
Poop. Top 5. This is not an easy one.
Now, is this all the way back to WWF? Are we talking about that? Like,
I would assume, yeah.
Because
I would say WWF.
I would say easily WWE wrestlers with the most wins: Cena, Taker, Michaels, Hart's, Orton, San Martino.
Taker, you might think, but he didn't wrestle a ton. Like, even when he was in his heyday, he was an attraction wrestler.
No,
he didn't wrestle on a lot of shows.
I know that, but don't big brain this. Like think a little more simply. And you know me, Beef. I'm not getting under your skin like I did earlier. I'm not going to yell and scream. I'm just saying.
My question is these stats that he's pulling and where they're pulling from, I don't know if they're including only televised wins and losses or not, because house shows are a different story. Bruno's a smart pick. He held the title for a good long time, but he probably also was wrestling maybe once a month, whereas for maybe like 7 years. Whereas Cena was wrestling, in some cases, 5 times a month, for like, I don't know, 4 years. So like, you do the math, it's probably about equal. So the names that come to my mind immediately are San Martino, Hogan, Cena. That's probably the easy ones.
All right. So, okay, let me get a notepad up here.
Austin, I think, has been protected well enough, but he was injured for major stretches.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay, the ones that we're saying what, H, Hogan.
I wouldn't go H there. I say San Martino.
Okay, San Martino.
I think Hogan. I think Cena. I think Cena's an absolute layup.
I really think that you are underselling Taker. I really want to put Taker on there, man.
My question
Think
here
about
is,
how much they protect him just even going into Mania season.
Oh, I agree, but again,
not with Manias, but going into, like, he's on the weeklies,
right,
man. He's going.
Right, but he didn't wrestle a lot on the weeklies. Even when he was like not an old man, like even in the height of the Attitude Era, he wrestled maybe 3 times a month.
I'm just saying, man.
So I want to ask a question here.
All right. People, you're going to hear me vape now, so because I'm not muting.
That's fine. Nobody cares. They're fine with it. And even if they're not, screw them.
Fuck them.
Fuck them. I don't know. B-Phrase is a good question. Like, I don't know where he's getting these stats, and also I don't know whether these stats are taking into consideration house shows, non-televised shows.
Right.
Like, if that's the case, I would probably count Hogan out. Because in that era, I don't know that they did a lot of house shows.
That's true.
So, like, for the Hogan San Martino era, they may have a lot of wins. They may be top 10, top 15. But, like, when I think of house shows, I think of, like,
but
mid to late 90s, 2000s, and so forth.
I'm not trying to belittle I'm not trying to belittle anyone here. You guys need to think more base here. Like, and this is me coming in just being like, hey guys, what's up? Like, you guys are overthinking this shit. Like, think of big names over the past 40 years. Like we said, Hogan, San Martino, Cena, those are locks, right?
Definitely not.
I'm here for what Ransom's saying.
Definitely not Hogan and Cena. Absolutely, I'd probably put him at number 1. Hogan and San Martino, no, because if these stats are taking into consideration house shows, but San Martino, I don't think they were doing house shows when he was wrestling.
That's the what if though. I think we're big braining this too hard.
I don't know.
I really do.
I think Ransom's right. Because I'm betting that he's pulling these stats off of like cagematch.net or whatever. I think that those are just like all time wins and losses.
I'm thinking here's what I'm thinking. How many does he want?
All right,
5.
So he wants top 5. So let's
top 5.
Let me.
He only wants top 5. I'm gonna say Cena, Taker. I'm gonna say Orton. And I'm going to say Bret Hart, and then maybe Bruno Sammartino.
So here's a flaw in your Sammartino thing. Again, let's say that San Martino wrestled once a month, which
All
is
right.
pretty accurate. And let's say that he was on top for say 7 or 8 years.
Sure.
He'd have about, and let's say he won every single match. He'd have about 84 wins. Great.
He was champ for what? 10 years?
Hold on. Cena, for example, not factoring house shows in. Just saying that he wrestles, and you know what? I'll do this. He was on top for about 11 years, probably a little bit longer. Sorry, I muted myself. Times 12 months. Times, let's say he's averaging 3 matches a month. That's 396 wins. Well, matches for Cena. If he wins half of that, you know, he's over twice the number of Bruno. So I think that that's why Ransom's point is right. I think that even with Hogan,
Fair.
to an extent, Hogan didn't have Raw, Hogan didn't have SmackDown, Hogan had pay-per-views, Saturday night main events, and like other big shows. So I think Ransom's right.
Well, what about guys like Kofi Kingston or Kane or Michaels or whatever?
I think Cena and Orton are good bets.
Because I know Kofi, dude, for a long time, Kofi was on everything. Like that's why I throw him out. Because think about him, not even just in the New Day. We forget Kofi. They pushed the shit out of him. Like he's the veteran of that.
Yeah, but he wasn't always like on top though. Like that's the thing. Like he didn't always win the matches.
Yeah, I guess.
And like at best he's probably 50-50. That's what I'm saying. Orton and Cena are probably locks.
Well, what about 8-Ball and Skull from the DOA?
Stop it.
So that's like seriously, the Orton and Cena are probably locks because they've had prolific careers in the house show, Raw, SmackDown era. They were both very heavily protected. So I think Orton and Cena are top two.
So
I'd put Hart in there too.
So if you're going to say Hart, you could probably say HBK too.
I think HBK
I don't know
is
about
close, but I bet he gets beaten out by somebody.
I stand by the statement that we are sleeping on Taker, man. I'm sorry. I really think you're sleeping on Taker. Come on, man.
I think Taker could be on there. I do.
Yeah, but
Taker
here's the
could be
thing,
on
Poot.
there.
Like I remember watching Raws. Taker was never at Raws. Like when Raw was at the Manhattan Center, it was a big deal if you saw the Undertaker. So that was happening maybe once every 4 months.
Dial in and think more basic because Taker's been wrestling since 1991 in the WWE.
Yes, 91, 92, sometime in there.
Yeah, like
and he was always protected as well.
You're right
when he was wrestling.
You're right, but like from like SmackDown 2004 or 5 onward, he pretty much wrestled exclusively pay-per-views, and then in like 2009 2010,
do your math from 91 to 2005. Do your math that you did earlier.
So there's no way he's wrestling 3 times a month. I'll tell you that. I'll give you 2.
Early on,
I'll
lies.
give you 2.
Lies. Early on, lies. Come on.
No way. Because again,
they want to draw. They want him out there. He didn't have to work that hard. He didn't have to work that hard early on.
Poot, I'm telling you, as a man who grew up watching it during this era, like I started watching when Raw started at the Manhattan Center. Like that's where that was my first episode. I watched pretty much from when Undertaker came in until now, right? So like I was watching during the genesis of this. Undertaker showing up on a Monday Night Raw was a big fucking deal. And it didn't happen but once every 4 to 5 months. If that.
I feel like I remember, especially when he was doing feuds with Kane, when he was the Ministry doing feuds with Austin.
He'd show up, but he wouldn't wrestle.
And even when he was the American Badass. When he was the American Badass, he was on TV every single fuck you week.
But he didn't wrestle.
I think he wrestled a lot. And also, like, every single week when he was on SmackDown. Freaking Teddy Long was coming out. You're going to be in a tag team match against The Undertaker.
Yeah,
he
okay.
was always freaking wrestling.
And the
then.
thing is, Beef, you're thinking of like his WrestleMania quality matches. There were so many matches he had that were a minute and a fucking half.
I'm not though. I'm factoring those in because again, I'm telling you, they treated him like a spectacle. They didn't roll him out on Monday Night Raw. Like that.
I just think you're big braining too hard, buddy. I'm really really, because that man prides himself on being a fucking worker.
So listen, from 91 to 2005, 14 years. I'm giving him credit of saying 2 matches a month, and that's probably overestimating him. He would have wrestled 336 matches. If he won, I don't know, 85%, which I think is a fair number. So you're
saying, wait, hold on, let me banker this. Hold on, let me pull up my calculator. All right?
Oh, boy.
Let me pull up my fucking calculator. You said 336, right? Right? Hold on, let me pull up my fucking calculator. I'm doing this. My computer is running a recording software and like other shit. And I pulled up the calculator and it took a second. It was like, hold on, bro, that's too much. Okay. So 336 matches. Hold on, divided by 20 because what we're saying. Wait,
what's
how
20?
many WrestleMania matches?
What's
how
20?
many? No.
Let
me follow this thread. Let me follow this thread before you beat this down. How many WrestleMania matches did he have total? Total. How
so
many?
Sweaty.
23? Was it 22 or 23?
25. Yeah.
Are we saying? Okay, we'll say 24. We'll err on the side of whatever. So 336 divided by 24. You're saying 14% of those fucking matches. You're saying 14% of his matches were at WrestleMania over his whole fucking career from 91.
Again.
Really?
Again, I'm going. Hold the fuck on. I'm going 91 to 2005. I think 2005 is when he started becoming less and less.
All right, 2005. What WrestleMania was that for Taker?
I don't know.
This
and
so
21, WrestleMania 21.
Okay, that was WrestleMania 21. When was his first WrestleMania match? Like how many was that?
8, WrestleMania 7 or 8, I think.
All right, so
I don't know, man.
336 divided by and do the math from there.
Why, Poot? I'm telling you.
I'm trying to put this in perspective for you that like the way that you're thinking is too small.
Okay.
Like that's what I'm trying to do. Even extrapolating out to those bigger numbers.
Listen
like
to
that's
me.
14% of his matches happened at WrestleMania. Come on, man.
Are we done?
Yeah, we're done.
Even with Beefcake scenario, where he wrestled a total of 336 matches.
Did you just say Beefcake scenario?
I did.
I fucking died.
From 91 to 2005, and he won 85% of them. He would have won 285 matches, which would have put him over John Cena. Which is the point that I'm getting to, that I think you're probably right, just because of the longevity of his career and because he's always been protected. I think that The Undertaker could well be up there with Cena and Orton.
That's why I'm saying we have Cena, Orton, Hart, Taker. That's 4.
I'm not sold on Bret Hart. Because his time in the main event scene was so short.
Dude, yeah, but you're thinking main event. Like you're not seeing the forest through the trees on this one, cowgirl.
That he was Intercontinental title twice. I know Bret Hart's fucking. I can read Bret Hart's.
Yeah, you read his book, right?
But I read 2 pages of it. But
yeah,
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Again, most of Hart's career was prior to Monday Night Raws. Was prior to he wasn't on any SmackDowns. Was prior to monthly pay-per-views. He only wrestled every 4 months on paper or every 2 months on pay-per-view, even as champion. It wasn't until the tail end of his main event career where they started doing the in your houses. So I think that a guy like Dolph Ziggler, for example, may have had more matches because he's been around a long time. Wins, I don't know, man. Maybe because again, sheer volume. And again, man, like I don't disagree. Bret Hart, and he was a big time tag team specialist. He was great in the mid card. He had a great main event run for a few years. But here's the thing: he didn't have the television to go with it. Even with house shows, they didn't really start house showing until the mid '90s. So even if those are in taken into account, I don't think that the numbers are there.
All right.
I think that it probably comes down to the modern era, attitude era on.
I'm okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna collect my thoughts. I'm gonna go to the bathroom store.
What about Roman Reigns?
And I'm gonna let nah. You're not thinking big enough because Ryuk is saying WWE. He's been around. Yeah, but again, dude, if you're gonna make the argument for Roman Reigns and trying to argue against me for The Undertaker, you need to go over to your sink, splash water in your face, and hit your head against your fridge.
First of all, Roman Reigns has been around about 11 years now.
Yeah, 11 years. Undertaker's been around since 91.
Right, but Roman Reigns
I'm going to the bathroom store. Ransom, talk him off this ledge until I get back.
Roman Reigns has had Raws and SmackDowns.
Bras.
He's had main events at all kinds of pay-per-views, and he's been the most protected athlete since Cena. So I think that if somebody's going to be close, it's going to be Roman Reigns. I just wanted to pop Poot's head a little bit there. That's all. But I think that honestly, Reigns probably has more wins than Hart or Michaels.
I don't.
You don't? Okay.
No.
So who else we got? I mean, I think we're solid on Taker, Orton, and Cena. But who else?
So I would put Kane in there.
It seems like Kane was always the foil, though. Right? Like he was always the guy who was there, but he was losing.
I don't know.
Like he lost a lot to The Undertaker. He lost a lot to Triple H.
If I'm making my list here and checking it twice, the ones that I would say that I'm solid on are Cena, Taker. I would put Kane in there. Probably Brett. And then it would come down to between, this is at least for me, it would come down between Orton and Michaels.
All right.
For my last guy.
I just got back from the bathroom store. Did you just said Kane?
Yeah.
I was pissing, and I thought Undertaker and Kane because Beef, I heard you say that Kane was always the foil. Yes, Kane was, from a story standpoint, always the foil. But I want you to think about how do you build a monster, Beef? And I'm not looking to get into an argument and a long thing. How do you build a monster?
Right. You give him lots of wins.
You give him a fuck you amount of wins. I'm talking fuck you amount of wins. Like squash matches over good mid-card guys, over the surprise high guys. You throw them out there and you have them be a walking, talking fucking mountain. And I was pissing and I'm thinking, Kane would be good. And I'm thinking, well, I don't know that. And then I was walking back and I heard Ransom go, Kane. And I'm like, this motherfucker, he knows me. He knows me. Was he watching me piss? Like, well, you know, that's okay. That's your kink. We don't kink shame here at Bardic Industries.
I do this podcast on my phone, so I can be mobile.
But that's true.
I will not argue against Kane. If both of you are that like
And I mean, think about like how long did the brothers like? I mean, not how long, but like how dominant were the Brothers of Destruction?
It's true, and
Like,
he's been around a minute.
They were always getting put in matches together, and plus he was, Isaac Yankem, fake Diesel, fake Undertaker for a minute.
Diesel.
I
Wow.
mean, there wouldn't have been that many wins for like those characters, but Glenn Jacobs was in the WWE
for a long fucking time.
Well, yeah, he was.
Well, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, but also, Beef, the other thing is too, and I'm not, and again, this is not me being a dick and argumentative like I was being earlier. We also need to take into account whenever these people were in tags, whenever they were in organizations, whenever they were in Survivor Series matches. Like, those count as wins too.
What about McIntyre? What about McIntyre?
Dude, again,
No.
it's too. Again, you're not thinking big enough, because think about, and you have to take into account and again, it's no offense to the fine gentleman who is asking this question, but like it's the thing, you're thinking too recent. You are thinking too small. You have to think. He said, who has the most wins over the course of. And when I say modern WWE, I mean in the sense of like when it was WWF forward.
But you're getting hung up on like if we're talking win percentage, absolutely. But all those old guys, they didn't have the kind of TV that we do now. McIntyre, let's not forget, was brought in as the chosen one. He wrestled.
You are fucking killing me, Smalls.
Oh, I'm just and on NXT he run Rush Right over NXT. I'm just saying.
I feel like you're trying to make this more difficult than it is. I really do. I think you are thinking of guys.
I don't think you're taking the credit of television into the account.
That's fair. Okay, I'll give you that. But again.
I'm probably reacting probably the opposite.
Overcomplicating this, man. I really do.
I'm probably overcompensating. All right, so let's
not
say
compensating.
Cena,
I'm saying complicating. Like you're overcomplicating this.
Both. We'll say Cena. We'll say Taker. We'll say Kane. We'll say maybe Orton. Who else you got? Ransom wasn't sold on Orton.
So I'm putting here. Okay, so what we have right now. And this is something that I said because we had talked about him earlier. Right now we have Cena, Orton, Hart, Taker, Kane. That's 5. And that's 5 solid that I feel pretty confident in. Kane is the one that if I had a doubt, if I had to argue, if someone presented me this list and they said, these are the 5 most winningest WWE /WWF talents ad infinitum, I'd be like, Kane's kind of weird. But then if I took a second and talked like we did about this, I'd go, it's believable, but I would still have my doubts. Orton to me is not a question. And I'm not trying to argue with you, Ransom. I'm not trying to like put as Beef said before, piss in your Wheaties. Like I'm just saying that one's not the argument to me. Kane's the argument, but I'm still pretty confident in that. I think this is a solid list. Cena, Orton, Hart, Taker, Kane. I think that's, and in no particular order, by the way, I think that's a pretty strong list.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I mean, honestly, though, thinking about it, I would probably put Kane at like 3 or 4, like number 3 or 4 on that list. I would probably put him.
Really?
Yeah, I'd probably put him either above Brett or below Brett. I bet Orton's last on that list. I mean, we don't have to, name the order, but I bet Kane is pretty high on that list.
And we're pretty okay with not saying Triple H.
Okay, so I'm pretty okay with saying not saying Triple H because we talk about the golden shovel all the time, Like, people like to talk about that time, but you think about like H heels when and we talk about H winning a lot or whatever, but like heels not winning is better for business. And H for the bulk of his career has been a heel, like really been a heel.
Right, but here's the thing though. H would always build himself up to WrestleMania matches with the young guys.
Ugh.
Cena, for
and then
example,
he would lose.
Right, but to quote your own self, how do you build a guy?
Yeah,
Like,
but H didn't. It wasn't the same thing as Kane. You can't put Kane and H together because H went away, and when he came back, he was already a rock star. You didn't have to build him. He could take losses, and people would be behind him.
I was just submitting that for the jury. I'm hands off this list. I'm hands off this list. You guys, I'm not trying to say I disagree. I just think that I don't know, man. Like
for shits and giggles,
I have questions. That's all.
For shits and giggles, I'd like Beef's list. Just like, even if that's not the final 5 that we go with, I would just like to know, for my own morbid curiosity, like what 5 Beef would put on there if he's
I would exclude
not
Hart.
sold.
Okay.
I would exclude Hart.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Because again, the bulk of his career was without television.
That's okay, fair. But like, why Hart of my thing is why Hart of all of them?
Because he's the only one that didn't have a weekly show for his whole career.
But that not the whole of his career, but think about the height of his career he did.
Right. So like maybe 5-6 years.
Yeah, but
whereas Taker, his whole career had at least Raw. But did he wrestle every Raw? No. Kane had Raw and SmackDown and ECW. Like,
yeah, but you're talking about ECW, dude. Come on, dial it back.
I'm just saying.
Oh,
he
you
was
mean
there.
Okay, but
WWE ECW.
So who would you put in Hart's place out of, again, as Ransom said, out of morbid curiosity?
My list would probably be Cena, Orton, Taker, probably Triple H, Kane.
So you're saying put H instead of Hart on your list? That and that's not unbelievable.
I think Roman's approaching some of those numbers because he's been around for for probably close to a decade, I'd say.
I'll buy that. I'd buy that for $1, but I really think if you compare,
I'm saying he's probably like 7, between 7 and 10.
The longevity between, like, just year-wise, and I understand you said about Hart not having the TV time, but like the difference between Hart and H, man, I just feel like Hart has just more miles on the tires, man.
Well, so for example, Brett showed up around WrestleMania 2 or so, and was pretty much done by WrestleMania 13. Triple H showed up at around WrestleMania, I think 12, 11, or 12. I think 11 was his debut, and he wrestled up to WrestleMania 33. So that's 20 years versus Hart's 12. Just putting it in perspective of WrestleMania. And Triple H had the benefit of weekly TV that whole run.
Yeah, but
Hart had the benefit of weekly TV for about 2 or 3 years.
Okay, that's fair. But also, who went away from WWE for that time? Hart did. Like that. I still think that Bret Hart is the safer bet than H. I really do. I just think that
I'm not pushing hard. Ransom asked me what my list would be. I gave you an answer.
All right, because we have another answer. Are we doing a second question this week?
No, we'll hold off on that.
No, it's long in the tooth as it is.
Well, okay.
It's Punk 55.
It's true. So it's Punk 55. So what we have without the postulating was Cena, Orton, Hart, Taker, Kane in no particular order.
I think that we agree on 4 of those. I think that we mutually agree on 4 of those. I think that Hart is the only question that I have. Ransom didn't seem sold on Orton.
I mean, I won't argue it. I couldn't decide between Orton and Michaels.
And I was the one who was dissenting on Kane. So, like, if you look at it, majority has it.
Okay.
You guys seem pretty sold on Orton, so like I'm good with that.
I do because they pushed the fuck out of that boy.
If we're saying Cena, Orton, Taker, Kane, and Hart. I will back that. Just know that I'm saying I think it's Triple H.
All right, that's fair. All right, let's find out.
All right, here we go.
Could be so far off on like 4 of these.
It's gonna be like the Blue Meanie or some fucking shit.
Stop it.
I love making them put the extra sentences in here because then it's just puffery for us. I really enjoy your show and you guys are very good at what you do and I hope you guys keep going. Thanks, Ryuk. We sure will.
Thanks, Ryuk. You're awesome, man.
Oh no, he didn't include the answer. Oh no, there it is.
Oh no.
It was like way down there.
All right.
So John Cena, number 1.
All right.
Taker, number 2.
Okay.
Kane, number 3. Bret Hart, number 4. HBK, number 5.
Oh, no. Now, did he cite his source on this?
He did not. There was no source citing.
Source citing.
Yes.
Well,
sourcing.
Man, I should have championed HBK harder. Also, Ryuk, I want your source. I want it. You won, but I want your source.
Yeah, like, because just doing a quick Google search here for most WWE wins.
Oh, yeah. Orton has the numbers over Michaels.
Well, on one list it does. Slacker has Orton over Orton over Michaels. Total Sports has Michaels as number 5. So I'm curious as to what list he went off of and what list is the most accurate list.
But
because there seems to be some dispute between some sites.
But nonetheless, in the end, do we give him the benefit of the doubt or not?
I mean, this is tough.
Yeah, this is a tough call.
Because
I would be... Yeah.
Oh man, this is hard.
I would like to see if we could get an official WWE record from like WWE's website, if they had something like that on their website, because I would imagine that's the one to go off of.
Yeah. Well, okay.
So this stacker list came last August, and that's the one that has Orton listed as number 5, Michaels listed as number 6. It's very interesting. And as of last August, Orton was at 1253, Michaels at 1241. So it's not like Orton had it by a long shot. And moreover, I don't think Orton's wrestled any matches since August.
That's fair because he got injured, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the list from Stacker.
So the list
as of August, using data from Cage Match. So Cage Match is a pretty reputable source.
Okay.
If I recall,
this Total Sports article is from February of 2022, and it has Michaels at 1,234 wins and Orton at 1,205 wins. So
Right.
that data is far off because Michaels didn't wrestle at all in 2022. So how they got how these two sites got Michaels' records so far off.
See, I would make the argument that we were more accurate, but I mean, oh, this is rough because I don't want to give him the beef. I don't want to give him the beef. You lose, good day, sir. Quite yet, because I mean, the problem with this is, I think the problem with this situation is tertiary Google searches. I think this is the problem. Or cursory.
If we're gonna take a vote, and this is just the opinion of one dum-dum in a world of dum-dums, my opinion and ruling would be I give Ryuk the benefit of the doubt because this dude has been a listener and a fan of the show for a very long time. He's never come on the show. He's always been good to us. I, in my opinion, say we call it a win for Ryuk and let him call his shot on whether or not he wants to come on the show. That's just an opinion from one dummy, but whatever the majority rules, I'm good with.
And beyond that, whenever he comes on, not in an aggressive way, we can go, hey man, where'd you get your source from? Like, tell us what your thought process was here. Like, we can do that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, at that point, I really don't think it matters.
At that point, it doesn't really matter, but
that's just
what
my
do you
thought.
think, Beef?
My thought is,
I mean, I like Ryuk a lot, and I appreciate that he's a champion for the podcast. But I think a win is a win, a loss is a loss, and a tie is kissing your sister. And I think that we're definitely in like sister kissing territory here. I honestly would give this a push. I mean,
are we saying that
be the man,
Poot's
you
the
gotta beat the
tiebreaker
man
here? Because Ransom thinks we give him the benefit of the doubt. Beef says a win's a win and kissing your sister and all that. So Poot's the tiebreaker here, I would say, right?
Seems like it.
Like, it seems like it. So I may decree that I think that we should have Ryuk